You know, the idea of talking trees, it's not just stuff you find in fantasy novels, right? It's this idea that has fascinated people for generations. It always feels like there's more going on in a quiet forest than we can see, and it turns out we were onto something.
So, can they really talk? I mean, obviously not with words like we do, but can they communicate? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. But that just opens up another question, doesn't it? What on earth could trees possibly have to talk about?
The secret to this whole thing isn't being whispered on the wind. It's not hidden in the rustling of the leaves. Nope. It's happening in this vast, complicated world right under our feet, completely out of sight.
What we're talking about here is this massive, interconnected network of life that literally links trees together through their root systems. Think of it like a biological internet for the entire forest.
Now, at the heart of this incredible network, you've got two main players. On one side, you have the trees themselves, specifically these big central ones we call hub trees. And then you have the connectors, a huge, intricate web of fungi.
So let's talk about these hub trees for a second. These are the giants of the forest, right? The oldest and tallest ones around. And because they're so big, they get way more sunlight. And through photosynthesis, they create a ton of excess sugar, way more than they need for themselves. They're basically the power plants for this whole system.
And then we have the connectors. See, underground, fungi are made up of this huge mass of tiny little threads called mycelium. These threads are just everywhere. But here's the thing. To survive, fungi need something they can't make on their own. Sugar. And, well, they know exactly where to get it.
So, what happens when these two meet? Well, it's this brilliant example of cooperation. The trees have something the fungi desperately need, and it turns out the fungi have something the trees need. This whole thing sets the stage for an absolutely incredible partnership.
And of course, there's a scientific name for this relationship, Mycorrhiza. It comes straight from the Greek words for fungus, which is mycos, and root, which is rhiza. It literally means fungus root. It perfectly describes this underground deal where everybody wins.
Okay, so here's how this elegant exchange really works. Step 1, the hub trees are making all this extra sugar. Step 2, the fungi need that sugar to live. So, Step 3, the fungi connect their mycelium threads directly to the tree's roots to get a steady supply. And in return, this is Step 4, the fungi give the trees vital nutrients they've gathered from the soil. It's a perfect symbiotic trade.
All right, so we get how they're all connected, but what are they actually sending through this wood wide web? It's got to be more than just a simple trade, right?
Oh, it is. These conversations take all sorts of forms. They're swapping critical resources, things like water and nutrients. The older mother trees even use the network to feed and nurture their own seedlings. And get this, they can even send out chemical warning signals to other trees when they're under attack from pests or diseases. It's incredible.
I know, this all sounds pretty amazing, but it brings up a simple question. What's the scale here? Is this just a few trees in a little clump? Or is the whole forest in on this? Just how many trees are actually connected?
Well, to figure that out, some researchers in a Canadian forest decided they were going to map out one of these fungal networks. By using DNA analysis, they were able to actually trace the connections and get this really clear picture of just how massive these relationships are.
And the results were just, wow, they were astonishing. They found that one single Douglas fir tree was connected to 47 other trees in the area. Just think about that for a second. It wasn't just linked to other firs, but to birch trees nearby too. This tree wasn't an isolated individual. It was the center of this bustling, interconnected community. It's a real social network, just hidden right under the soil.
But the study found something even more important. Their models showed that if you remove trees just at random, it had a pretty small impact on the network's overall connections. But, and this is the kicker, if they simulated removing just one of those central hub trees, the network pretty much collapsed. A massive number of connections were just gone. This proves that these hub trees aren't just part of the community. They are the pillars holding the entire forest together.
So why does any of this matter? I mean, beyond being a really fascinating piece of science. Well, understanding this language, this hidden communication, it has huge implications for how we protect our planet. This completely changes how we should think about conservation. It's not just about planting a bunch of new trees. We have to protect the ancient hub trees and the super delicate fungal networks that support the whole system. By understanding this secret language, we can actually help build the kind of complex, resilient forests that are absolutely vital for the health of our planet.
You know, we're really just beginning to translate the language of the forest. And even if we can't speak it ourselves, just by learning to listen, we're uncovering secrets that could be the key to its survival. The only real question left is, what's it going to tell us next?